floor, so is it true?
Huh? Beth? Why are you messaging me? I thought I told you not to bother talking to me ever again.
Oh, please, I know you didn't mean that. Who wouldn't want someone so perfect like me in their lives?
Uh-huh. I'm going.
Wait, is it true though?
Is what true?
Are you actually getting married?
How do you know about that?
So it is true. Oh, wow, who would have thought it, huh? So, what's he like? Your fiancé, that is.
Why on earth would I tell you anything about my life? For the majority of our childhood, you were awful to me. As soon as I could get out of that house, I left, and I haven't tried to contact you since. A smart person would take that to mean that I don't want them in my life.
Are you still upset about that? Geez, it was years ago. Get over it. Besides, it's not my fault that you were the ugly and less talented sister and everyone loved me. Maybe if you had just worked on yourself more, like I suggested, you wouldn't have been picked on so much.
You were the one picking on me. In fact, you were the one who started the bullying in the first place. Before you, no one picked on me or was bothered by me. They let me get on with my life in peace. I was actually fairly well liked. Then you came up in my school, and even though you were 2 years younger than me, you decided that you were going to get everyone to bully me? You made fun of my looks, of how I dressed, and my intelligence. Not to mention all of the pranks that you pulled on me just to humiliate me in front of everyone.
Yeah, whatever. It's not my fault that you were so easy to prank. Anyway, no one even remembers any of that stuff. It's all high school drama, and we're way too old to be dealing with that now.
You might not care, but you ruined my life whilst I was in school. So I want nothing to do with you, and neither does my new husband-to-be.
Seriously? So childish. Anyway, I can't believe that someone actually wants to marry you. What? Did you bribe him or something? There's no way that he would simply ask you to marry him just because you're you.
You really can't stop being a horrible person, can you?
Whatever. So tell me, how did you do it? Maybe I could do whatever you did and get myself a husband as well. Although, with how pretty I am, I'll have one in no time. I mean, I bet I could even take yours if I wanted to.
I seriously doubt that.
Oh, really? And why is that?
You're really not his type.
What? You mean he's not into pretty, smart, and amazing girls?
No, he's not into selfish, shallow, and incredibly vile girls.
Then why is he with you?
Wow, such a clever comeback.
Whatever. Anyway, you can get married to that loser husband of yours if you want. I have much better things to be doing. I seriously have no time for a husband at the moment.
Okay.
Don't you want to know what I'm doing?
No, not really.
I'm gonna tell you anyway, because you're going to be so jealous.
Oh, joy.
I've managed to get a part in a film. I was one of thousands of girls who went for it, but obviously, my gorgeous looks and natural acting talent were simply far greater than anyone else's. I mean, it's not the main part, but once the director sees me and sees how amazingly talented I am, you can be sure he'll fire that other girl right away and give me the main part. The best thing is that the main actor is a really handsome guy. He's semi-well-known at the moment, but he definitely has movie star potential. And I'm so going to be the woman he takes with him into his rich and famous life. I'll marry him in no time. I'm sure he'll be much better than your loser of a husband. Try not to get too jealous.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
I honestly don't think you understand just how handsome and talented this man is. Honestly, you should just give up on your wedding and cancel it. Just give it to me because I'll just show you up and you don't really want to be embarrassed. Again.
I can't believe I even have to say this, but I'm not giving you my wedding. You don't even have a boyfriend, Beth, let alone a fiancé.
I will, soon enough. Anyway, you shouldn't be getting married before me. It's rude and mean and spiteful. I'm the better sister, so you'll just have to wait until I've married my actor. Then you can have your stupid little wedding.
I'm not postponing my wedding, nor giving it to you. I'm not doing anything you say. I am marrying my fiancé regardless of what you want.
Well, then I guess I'll just have to find a fiancé at your wedding and jump in before you say I do. LOL.
That's unlikely as you're not invited to my wedding.
Yeah, I am. I'm your sister, so I'm automatically invited.
No, you're not. I don't want you anywhere near my wedding.
That's so petty. Fine, whatever.
Great. Now please don't contact me again. I really don't want anything to do with you.
Ah, Mom!
What's wrong, sweetie?
Florence is being a horrible, petty, and selfish sister.
What's that ungrateful brat done now?
Well, firstly, she's getting married before me, and she isn't even inviting me to the wedding.
Florence is getting married?
Yep. And she kept going on about how I'm the loser because she's getting married before me.
What? Why that? We need to teach her a lesson.
But what can we do?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? You need to crash her wedding.
What? OMG, yes. That would be hilarious.
But you need to do more than just show up at the wedding. People will just ignore you if you look like another normal guest.
Please. As if anyone would ignore me when I look like I do.
Well, yes, obviously, you're beautiful. But you still need something to make you stand out a little bit more. What about a beautiful designer gown? Go all out and everything. Make sure that all eyes are on you.
But how would I afford something like that?
Don't you worry about that. I can sort the dress out. But just to make sure that all eyes are on you, you should totally ruin Florence's dress as she walks down the aisle. Maybe take a little can of paint or spill red wine on it or something.
That's a great idea. I could also tip the cake over and maybe even sneak off with the groom. Florence would know then that she should never have belittled me like she did.
Exactly. It'll also teach her for thinking that she's better than you and for trying to get married before you. Only my prettiest and most talented daughter should get married, and that's certainly not her.
Hey, Flory, happy wedding day!
Thanks?
It's no problem. I wouldn't want my big sis to think that I wasn't happy for her.
Right, sure.
Now, I know that you said you didn't want me at your wedding, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't give you an amazing surprise, right? As a gift, of course.
Oh, you didn't need to get us anything. Honestly, I really rather you hadn't.
Nonsense. Besides, this gift is one that will definitely shock you, possibly to tears.
Huh? What are you on about?
You'll just have to wait and see. See you later.
Wait, what do you mean see you later? Beth?
OMG, OMG, OMG. Florence, how could you not tell me? That was so embarrassing. I won't be able to show my face on set.
About going to film anytime soon. At least not with Chris.
What do you mean?
Well, Chris really wasn't happy with how you just barged into our wedding like that. Not to mention you tried to ruin my dress. It's looking quite likely that you might not have a job to go back to.
What?
Well, seeing as he is the star of the film, he does kind of have a say with who he works with, at least in terms of the minor roles.
You witch. I bet you put him up to firing me, didn't you?
No, I have no say in what he does at work. He just didn't take too kindly to you trying to ruin our wedding.
Stellar, how did someone like you even get someone so perfect to marry her? You blackmailed him, didn't you? He should be with someone like me.
Like I told you before, he doesn't like spoiled, bratty people. You'd have no chance with him.
Oh, then how come you did? I mean, you're just a lowly receptionist.
Not that it's any of your business, but I'm a producer, not a receptionist. I met Chris ages before this new film of his. We met at a party of a mutual friend and really hit it off.
What? You're a producer? Why didn't you tell me? You could have helped me get loads of acting roles. I could have been famous.
I did tell you and Mom, but you both decided to ignore me like usual. And there's no way I'd help someone who tried to ruin my life and my wedding. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a wedding to go and celebrate.
But what about me? My job is toast. You need to help me. It's your fault this has all happened. If you hadn't gotten married, I wouldn't have felt so jealous.
This is in no way my fault. It's time you grew up and started taking responsibility for the consequences of your actions. Now please, for the final time, leave me alone.
Florence, get back here. I mean it.
Because of the stunt that Beth tried to pull at the wedding, Chris did end up having words with the director and producers of his film, and they agreed to fire Beth. She was kicked off the film, and Chris even ended up putting out the word of her behavior to multiple other casting agencies. It might seem a little harsh, but if she was awful to me as her sister, there's no telling what kind of monster she'd be like to her coworkers. Chris and I are having an incredibly happy marriage, and I'm even expecting our first child. Beth tried multiple times to get in contact with me, begging me to get her a starring role in a film, but I ignored all of the messages and blocked her on everything. I can now say that with such a toxic person out of my life, I am feeling 100 times more confident and happy. Beth tried to get our mom to order me around as well, and with how much that woman worships my little sister, she did what she wanted. However, since I am an adult, I don't have to listen to either one of them and happily ignored all efforts of theirs to guilt trip me into doing whatever it is they wanted me to do. Sometimes the toxic people in your life just need to be thrown out, even if they are family. Not everyone you share blood with has your best interests at heart. You need to make sure that you're living life the way you want to, not how others think you should.
Louis, dear, what on earth are you doing?
Huh? What do you mean, Enid?
Well, this is no home to raise a baby in. Everything's a mess. Do you never clean up? Honestly, what kind of wife are you if you can't even keep the house clean and tidy? My grandson surely has no hope with you as his mother.
I'm doing just fine, thank you. The house might be a little messy, but that's simply because I didn't have time to clean up after Bobby this morning after breakfast. I was running late for work, so I needed to get him to the daycare.
Excuses, excuses. Anyway, that's another thing. Why are you paying for daycare?
So that he can be looked after whilst I'm at work? You do know babies can't take care of themselves, right?
Of course I know that. I'm not stupid, you ignorant little girl. But why are you paying a nanny when I am here? I would be happy to take care of my grandson on a daily basis whilst you are at work. It would be much cheaper too, and I could teach him all of the things he needs to know.
Look, that's very kind of you to offer, but I'm more comfortable with Bobby going to a daycare. My best friend runs the place, so I know he's good there, and it's on my way to work, so it's easy to drop him off and pick him up.
So what you are saying is that you don't trust me and you think I'm a failure of a grandmother. What lovely sentiments.
What? No, I never said that at all. I just think it's best if my son goes to a daycare instead.
Well, what does my son think? Surely he'd want his own blood relative to look after his child instead of some stranger who could do God knows what.
Marcus agrees with me. We both decided that it would be best for Bobby to go there.
I bet that's a lie. I bet you bullied my son into agreeing with him, forcing him to send his kid to daycare just to spite me.
I'm not trying to spite you. I'm trying to do what's best for my son.
That's rubbish. You've always hated me, so you just want to hurt me and keep me away from my grandson.
That's not true. But I'm not going to leave my baby in your care when you have your own life. You go out and about with your friends and grocery shopping and to the gym. Who's going to look after Bobby whilst you are doing all of that?
I'm sure it'd be fine. I'd figure something out.
See, I can't just leave my baby with someone who says I'm sure it'd be fine about his care.
Are you saying that I don't know how to take care of a child? Have you seen your home? Clearly, the one who doesn't know how to look after a baby is you. You can't just leave things lying around. Plus, there were dirty dishes in the sink in the kitchen. How can you say that is good for the baby? Well, because I'm in your house, of course.
Why are you in my house? How did you even get inside?
I let myself inside with a spare key, obviously. Gosh, you're so dim-witted. How long does it take to understand what's going on? Anyway, I've stopped by and saw how messy the house was, so I've cleaned everything up for you. Perhaps you'll learn a thing or two about being a good housewife if I show you how it's done properly.
Look, Enid, I'm grateful you cleaned up, but I really don't appreciate you going into my house when I'm not there. It's kind of rude.
It's not just your house. It's my son's as well. So, if I want to come by and visit him and my grandson, then I have every right to do so.
Not really, as that is my house too, so I get to have a say who can go into it, especially when I'm not there.
Well, I don't care. If I want to come and see my son, I will.
You know, he's not even there. He's at work. So you've got no business being in my home.
I've got to make sure that everything is in order for my grandson. I don't want him getting hurt or anything, which very well could have happened with the state that the house was left in.
It was a few bowls and a couple of baby clothes. I'm pretty certain nothing could have hurt him.
Well, now it won't, because I've cleaned up your mess.
Look, I don't have time for this. Please leave my house. I've got to get back to work.
I truly worry for Bobby, having you for a mom. I think he'd be much better off in my care. After all, you'd rather go to work than stay at home and raise him. No wife or mother should do that.
This isn't the 1950s, Enid. Women can do both now. I love my son very much and I like working too. I can manage both. Now, I've got to get back to work. Please don't be in my home when I get back.
But I want to see my grandson.
Well, I've got the weekend off, so you can come over then.
That's days away.
I'm afraid that's the best I can do. When Bobby gets home, all he's going to be doing is having his dinner and then going to bed. He's always very tired after daycare, so he won't be in any mood to play with anyone.
Ah, fine. But Marcus will be hearing about how you are treating me.
Whatever. I've not even done anything wrong.
You're trying to keep my grandson from me.
No, I'm not. I'm just setting boundaries. You can't just come over whenever you want. I don't want you waking my son up when he's sleeping.
Tell my son about this, though.
Okay, I guess I'll see you this weekend then.
Hey, Lois, I just finished talking to my mom, and she was quite upset with how you were speaking to her this afternoon. She said you were incredibly rude to her and that you were criticizing her ability to look after her son. That's kind of rude considering she raised me. Are you saying I turned out awful?
Whatever she told you, Marcus, really wasn't the truth.
So you're calling my mom a liar now?
I'm sorry to say this, but she has bent the truth with you.
What happened then?
Your mom messaged this afternoon claiming that I'm a terrible mother and wife because the house was slightly messy. You know it was a hectic morning today and that we both didn't have time to clean things up. And do you want to know how she knew the house was a bit messy?
How?
She snuck into our house using her spare key, the one we gave her only for emergencies.
But why was she at the house? No one was even there.
Precisely. All I said was that I wasn't comfortable with her entering our home when we weren't there, and I also told her that she couldn't see Bobby tonight as he would be tired from daycare, and I didn't want her waking him up. I told her that I was off this weekend so she could come and see him then. But then she started going on about how she should have Bobby during the day and that daycare was a waste of time for him. We both agreed that our son would go to daycare because it was easier for both of us.
Jeez, I know my mom can be a bit of a handful, but she really said all that?
Yeah, it kind of really got to me. What if I really am a terrible mother to Bobby? What if I'm doing everything wrong?
Hey, you're doing perfect as his mother. You don't need to worry about anything. I'll have a talk with my mom and set her straight. She shouldn't be saying those things to you. But you really are a great mother, okay?
Thank you, Marcus.
Of course. Now hurry home. Me and Bobby are waiting for you.
I'll be home soon. I love you.
I love you too.
You little witch. You've turned my son against me. How could you?
I've not done anything, Enid. I only told him the truth of what happened yesterday. That's all. If you don't like how things have turned out, then maybe you need to change your attitude a bit.
I'm the one who needs to change your attitude. I think you're the one who needs an attitude adjustment. To turn my own son against me like you did is unforgivable. Next thing I know, you'll be turning my grandson against me too.
I wouldn't do that, Enid. It's up to Bobby to determine who he likes or doesn't like. But seeing as he's only a baby at the minute, I'm happy to let you two build a relationship until he's old enough to choose if he wants to continue with it or not. But that doesn't mean that you get to dictate when you see him. Bobby is my son, so you'll have to stick to my rules.
We'll see about that.
What? What do you mean by that? Enid? I still don't feel comfortable with what your mom was saying last night. She seemed really creepy.
It'll be okay. She was just being, well, her. You know how she gets. How's Bobby? Is he feeling any better? Okay. Well, I'll message later to see how you both are doing. Love you.
I love you too.
Hello, Lois.
Hi?
So, you know how you were saying that you're not a terrible mother?
Yes, I know I'm not.
Well, that's not entirely true, is it?
What are you on about?
A good mother would have noticed that their baby is missing.
Huh?
Well, I came around earlier and noticed that Bobby had just been left all on his own in the house. Marcus had told me he wasn't feeling very well, so I wanted to check up on him.
He wasn't left on his own. I really don't know what you were on about.
He was just left in the living room. You were nowhere about. I felt so awful for him that I just had to go in and get him. Bobby and I have been happily walking in the park for the past hour. A good mother would have known this. She would have noticed that her baby was missing and she would have been looking for him.
Take the baby back.
No. Bobby and I are having a lovely time.
Yeah, okay, but there's just one little thing that I think you should know.
What's that then?
That's not Bobby.
What?
The baby you have? It's not my son.
That's not true. You're just trying to trick me.
I'm really not.
And how would I know that?
Because my son is currently lying in my arms fast asleep. I don't know whose baby you have with you, but I suggest you take him back ASAP. Otherwise, you could be charged with kidnapping.
But this is just an honest mistake. I'm sure if I explain it to the woman, we'll just have a laugh about all this.
I doubt it. You stole a baby. If I were that mother, I'd have you charged for kidnapping immediately. Just to let you know that if you ever try to do that with Bobby.
Oh God, oh no, what should I do?
Well, you should take the baby back to his mom. Then pray that she doesn't call the police on you, if she hasn't already.
Lois, I need you to help me. You can come and get the baby and take it back to the woman. She'll go easier on you because you've got a baby too.
No way. I'm not getting involved in your mess. You're going to have to sort this out yourself.
Lois, as your mother-in-law, I demand you to help me.
No, you're in this mess because you wanted to take my baby. I told you that if you wanted to see him, it would be on my terms, and you ignored that. If you think that I'm going to let you anywhere near my child in the foreseeable future, you've got another thing coming.
Oh, you're the worst daughter-in-law ever.
In the end, Enid took the baby back to his mom. However, she had already called the police once she had noticed her baby missing. The woman was hysterical. Enid tried to explain why she had taken the child, but saying that she was trying to kidnap her grandson instead still didn't sound good either. Enid was taken to court for her crime and given a fine and a restraining order. I also stopped her from seeing my son unless I was present, as I didn't trust her not to try and take him off somewhere. If someone sets boundaries with you in concern of their children, respect those boundaries and listen to the parents' wishes, as they are the ones who are looking out for their children.
Hey, Megan, you weren't going to wear that really nice dress anytime soon, right? You know, the gold slinky one that has a really great shape.
Well, I don't have anything coming up where I'd need to wear it, but I do like to have it in my wardrobe just in case. How come?
I didn't think you were using it, so I've packed it into my bag. I've also taken the matching shoes and some of your jewelry that goes with it. Oh, and your clutch purse, the Louis Vuitton one.
Hang on, what?
Well, you weren't using them, and they were just gathering dust in your wardrobe. Such expensive things like these deserve to be worn and shown off.
Those things are mine. You can't just take them whenever you feel like it. You didn't even ask me if you could borrow them. And that purse was a special gift from my best friend. I literally only take it out for special occasions because I don't want it to get damaged or stolen.
Well, you would have just said no if I asked. I can't be dealing with your negativity, so I just took them. Besides, I really need them. I'm going away on a trip, and we're going somewhere really fancy, so I need to look the part.
Hang on, Levi never told me that you two were going away. I mean, I swear he was working overtime.
Yeah, well, he sorted things out. I'm being taken to a beautiful spa resort complete with golden beaches and blue seas to relax in. The restaurants there are incredibly fancy. So, I need the dress for the evenings.
This all sounds incredibly expensive. How can you and Levi afford this getaway? I mean, last I heard, you and my brother weren't exactly doing great financially. That's why he's been doing so much overtime, to try and curb all of the spending and debts that you've built up.
Blah, blah, blah. Look, I have a certain kind of life that I want to live. Your brother should have known this when he married me. So if he can't afford to keep me, then that's his problem. I'm not going to stop living and doing the things that I want to do simply because your brother can't earn enough money. So if I have to run up some debt on some credit cards, then so what?
OMG, you are so selfish. My brother is literally working himself into an early grave just to please you, and here you are spending even more money? Here's an idea. Why don't you get a job and actually help sort out the mess that you've made?
Ha, funny. As if I would get a job. I'm not a woman who's made to work.
You are seriously unbelievable. I can't believe I got stuck with you as a sister-in-law.
Yeah, well, same. Anyway, I'm already on my way to the spa with everything, so there's no way that you'll be getting it back until after my trip.
You better return everything in its original condition. I swear, if I see even one scratch on that bag, you'll be buying me a brand new one with your own money.
Oh, yeah, talking about money, I need you to lend me some for this holiday.
What? No, why would I do that?
Because if you don't, I'll tell your brother that you were incredibly mean to me and actually tried to bully me out of the family. I'll make you look so bad to him that he'll hate you within like a couple of days.
As if my brother would believe any of the lies that spew out of your mouth. In case you forgot, we grew up together, so we know exactly what each other's like. He knows I'd never do something like that.
You really want to bet? Look, if you just give me like 5 to 10 grand, then we'll be fine. What? What's so funny?
The fact that you think I've got a spare 10 grand lying around that I'd give to you to just go and throw away. I mean, first of all, if I had a spare 10 grand, I'd be doing whatever I wanted with it and actually treating myself for a change. And second of all, you are the last person I'd lend money to, ever.
And just why is that?
Because I know you'd never pay me back.
Well, duh. You just have to think of it as like a gift. It could be my Christmas present from you.
Honey, I hardly spend $10 on you at Christmas. I'm not going to suddenly give you $10,000.
Fine. You want to be like that? Then just wait until your brother hears how you've been treating me.
Please, go ahead and tell him. In fact, I'll call him right now and tell him myself. I'm sure he'd love to know that you've been begging me for money for your trip.
No, don't call him.
Huh? Why not?
Well, he's driving, so he won't be able to pick up. You don't want him getting into an accident, do you? It would be all your fault if he did.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I'm going now. But if the money isn't transferred into my bank account by the end of the day, then I'll be having a serious talk with Levi, and it might just result in him never seeing or talking to you ever again. So just think about that.
Hey, Levi, have you got a second to talk? I'm not disturbing you from driving, am I?
Hey, Meg. No, I'm not driving. I'm at work. I swear, it's like my second home right now. You've just caught me at a good time, though. I've just started my lunch.
Wait, you're at work?
Yeah. Why? Has something happened?
No, at least I don't think it has.
What's up then?
Have you mentioned anything to Justine about going away or something?
Going where?
I don't know, like on a trip to a spa resort or something like that?
Oh god, has she put you up to this?
Put me up to what?
She's been going on about going away to this really expensive spa retreat, but there's absolutely no way we can afford something like that. I mean, the prices are ridiculous. They want 5 grand per person just to attend the resort, and that doesn't include food and activities. It's literally the price of the room.
That actually explains so much.
What do you mean?
I think I found something out that you are definitely not going to like.
What? What is it?
Maybe I should wait until you finished work? I really don't think this is something you want to deal with whilst also dealing with customers.
Jeez, well, that's not reassuring, but I trust you on this. I'll let you know when I'm done.
Alright.
Alright, Megan, I've finished work and I'm sitting at home with a beer, so tell me this awful news that you think you've discovered.
Okay, look, I'm really sorry to say this, so I'm just going to come straight out and say it. I think Justine is cheating on you.
What? Why would you think that?
Earlier today, she messaged me saying that she had taken my favorite evening dress and a bunch more of my things because she was going to a fancy spa resort.
That doesn't mean she's cheating, though. You know what she's like. She'll go and spend money however she wants. I've been telling her we can't go to this resort, so she probably just decided to go anyway, just on her own.
Yeah, but she said that she was with you, that you were busy driving so you couldn't talk to me. She was also really suspicious when I said I'd call you to talk to you then.
That sounds odd, and I'll talk to her about it, but you've still not got any proof that she's cheating on me.
I thought you might say that, so I drove to the resort myself.
What?
I saw her with another man. She was all over him. I even took some videos as proof. I'll send them over to you.
I can't actually believe she would do this to me.
I'm so sorry, Levi.
You know what? Fine. If she wants to act like that, then she's welcome to. She's not my problem anymore. In fact, I can finally stop working overtime just to pay off her debts. I can actually get my life back.
What are you going to do?
Oh, you'll see.
Hey, Megan. Me and Levi are on our way back from the resort, so I guess I can drop off your things. Although I really think that this dress suits me way better than it does you. And of course, the shoes are a perfect match, so if I kept the dress, I'd have to keep the shoes too. What do you think?
Oh, Justine. Yeah, no. You're not keeping anything of mine. Bring it all back.
Ugh, fine. Oh, just to let you know though, I didn't need you to transfer that 10 grand in the end. I sorted it all out.
Oh, and how did you do that?
I found a credit card in the Louis Vuitton bag and thought it would be fine to use that. After all, if you didn't want people using your cards, then you should keep them someplace else.
What? You just used my card without my permission? What the hell? How much did you spend on it?
I don't know the exact amount, maybe around 30?
$30? That's not too bad.
You're funny. I meant 30 grand.
Excuse you?
Yeah, I figured it would be okay. You don't mind, right?
Hang on. Did you say you found that card in my Louis Vuitton bag?
Yeah, why?
Oh, wow. That's actually hilarious. I mean, you honestly thought that you had screwed me over, but you've just made things worse for yourself.
What do you mean?
That wasn't my card.
But it was your bag. If it wasn't yours, whose was it?
It was yours, Justine.
What? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it actually was. Do you remember when you and Levi first got married and your bad spending habits started to pick up?
Yeah?
Well, you applied for a credit card with the maximum credit and got approved because your credit score wasn't in the bin at that point. Levi discovered what you'd done and asked me to hide the card so that it could be used as a last resort in case something truly awful happened. I hid it in my bag because I don't like to use it that often. You just went and racked up 30 grand of debt in your own name. Well done, stupid.
What? Well, it doesn't matter. Levi will just have to work extra hard to pay it off. He'll have to get a second job or something. It won't matter to me.
Oh, actually, there might be a flaw with your plan there.
And what's that?
Just the fact that Levi filed for divorce.
You're so not funny.
I'm so not trying to be.
Levi wouldn't divorce me for no reason, especially because you wanted him to. Nice try, though.
He's divorcing you because he knows that you're cheating on him.
What? How?
Well, I might have helped hit just a smidge.
You are such a witch. Why would you do that?
Because my brother seriously deserves someone so much better than you.
Well, I'm not going to be giving you anything back.
If you don't give me my things back in their original condition, then I will call the police and claim them as stolen. You'll be in jail before you know it.
Ugh, I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
Uh-huh, sure you will. Now drop my things off at my house and get out of my life and my brother's. Justine did give my things back, and they were fortunately all in good condition. Levi won their divorce case due to the evidence I had collected to prove that Justine had cheated on him. Because of this, he didn't have to pay her anything. And because all of her debt was in her name, my brother was free from having to pay it off. Once Levi was finally free from Justine, he felt as if a world of weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He even decided to save up and go to that fancy spa for himself and had a great time. As for Justine, she was completely broke. All of her debts together came to over 70 grand. As soon as her new boyfriend heard about her financial troubles, he ran away from her as fast as he could. Last I heard, Justine was working 2 jobs as a waitress and a cashier to try and pay off some of her debts. To be honest, I think it's going to take a while.